didn't die by accident. They didn't just disappear. They were removed because they asked one dangerous question. What if Africa controlled its own future? Across the continent, leaders who dared to challenge power didn't just face opposition, they were hunted. And one by one, they were silenced. There's a pattern in Africa's history, one that's hard to ignore. Every time a leader rose, bold enough to demand true independence, something happened. Coups, assassinations, mysterious accidents. But here's the question: was it really a coincidence? Or was something else happening behind the scenes? Because one of these leaders was killed just 3 years after independence. And that was only the beginning. In 1916, Togo finally gained independence, and its first president, Sylvanus Olympio, had a vision. He wanted real freedom, not just political freedom, but economic control. At the time, many African countries were still tied to France through a system that controlled their money. But Olympio said no. He planned something bold, a new national currency, something that would break Togo away from French control. But that decision made him dangerous. And that's when everything changed. In 1963, just 3 years after independence, Sylvanus Olympio was assassinated, shot while trying to seek safety. Just like that, his vision ended, or at least, that's what they thought. Patrice Lumumba. But then came a man who refused to stay silent. In 1960, Patrice Lumumba became Prime Minister of Congo. Fearless, charismatic, and completely unafraid to speak the truth. During independence celebrations, while others praised colonial powers, Lumumba did something different. He exposed everything: the violence, the humiliation, the suffering. And in that moment, he became a target. But it wasn't just his words. Congo was rich, extremely rich. Gold, diamonds, uranium. And Lumumba wanted those resources to benefit his people, not foreign powers. That was unacceptable. Within months, he was overthrown, captured, tortured, and then executed. His body was completely destroyed, as if he never existed. But the truth? The world was watching, and they knew this was no ordinary death. Thomas Sankara. But then came a man who didn't just challenge the system, he embarrassed it. Thomas Sankara, the leader of Burkina Faso. He rejected luxury, sold expensive government cars, reduced his own salary. He lived like the people he led. But that wasn't all. He empowered women, banned forced marriages, planted millions of trees, and most importantly, he challenged foreign control. He told African nations to reject debt, calling it a new form of slavery. And that made him dangerous, because now people were listening, not just in his country, but across Africa. And then, in 1987, everything stopped. Sankara was assassinated, killed during a coup led by someone close to him, a betrayal that shocked the world. But his ideas, they didn't die. Samora Machel. By now, the pattern was clear. But this time, there were no bullets. In Mozambique, Samora Machel led the fight for independence. and he won. But freedom came with a cost. He opposed powerful systems. He supported liberation movements. And that made him a problem. Then, in 1986, his plane crashed. But not just any crash. Something felt off. Investigations suggested the aircraft may have been misled by a false signal. An accident? Or something else? Because once again, a powerful voice was gone. Pattern reveal. Different countries, same result. Different leaders, same ending. So what was really happening? These leaders all wanted one thing: control. Control of their land, their resources, their future. And every time that happened, they were removed. Because colonialism didn't disappear. It evolved into influence, into control, into silence. But here's what they didn't expect. Even though these leaders were silenced, their ideas survived. Today, a new generation is asking the same questions. Who really controls Africa's wealth? And what would true independence look like? Because history has shown us something powerful. You can kill a leader, but you can't kill an idea. So now I'll ask you, what do you think? Was this all coincidence or something more? Let me know in the comments, because this story is far from over.